Is he nice?
Rock solid.
What's going on, guys? Logan JYA here, and I got a message that's loud and clear. We're talking about them solid rocks, brother. It's been a long time since we've been playing ADAMANCIPATORs, but I got a build for you that you really might dig. Obviously, we're going to be using some engines that I've been enjoying in recent times, and you're going to see at the end, when we do a test hand, the infinite potential of the combo ability within this particular strategy. I love this deck. It is so much fun. Does it struggle against a Dark Ruler? Maybe. Could be, yeah. But we're not too worried about that because we'll be too busy rocking all over our opponents. So if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you have any feedback, suggestions, I love to hear it. You guys help make all these decks better every single darn time. So without further ado, don't forget to hit the link in the description down below. Go check out the website, check out the field centers. We got a few of them left, just a few more to go. And without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. Alright guys, this one is definitely a bit of a throwback for me. I actually can't remember the last time we did an ADAMANCIPATOR build on this channel, but back in the day, my goodness, in the heyday, even before the time of the DRYTRON, this is one of the decks that I would put on the channel and would do pretty darn well. We did it after Block Dragon got hit and we continued to iterate the build, and I put it down for a little bit, but right now I picked it back up again, and I gotta say, it's seriously still got some fangs to bear. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Combos at the end, we're gonna be doing some test hands, baby. Let's do it. Alright guys, start off with your basics real quick. We got our main chick, ADAMANCIPATOR Researcher, summon from hand when you control a rock, triple the Seeker, special summon from hand when you control an ADAMANCIPATOR, and triple of the Analyzer, who you special summon when your opponent controls a monster. They all have the same effect. Excavate 5, summon a revealed rock non-tuner. They're the bread and butter of the strategy, the namesake of the deck, and they're all complemented by our final ADAMANCIPATOR name in the main deck, our boy Blue Rock. We play one Blue Rock when it's special summoned off of an ADAMANCIPATOR card, you get to draw one, alright? So it's pretty cool. And it's a water, and it's got a big butt, so we do like the Blue Rock. Follow that up, we've got our mainstay extender, our boy Supplier, 3 of them. You gotta play 3 Supplier. He's supplying you with our boy Guardian. So Supplier special summons himself from hand when a rock is sent from the field to the grave. Pretty good stuff, doesn't work under Shifter, keep that in mind. And then when he's summoned, he searches out your Guardian, and Guardian is insane because he negates monster effects. You can either use this as a counterplay against hand traps. You're never gonna get in a beard when you're playing this deck as long as you're playing it right. Or you can use it as an end board piece. You just have to make sure you have a rock in hand to reveal during the end phase. So, pretty good stuff. Moving on, we've got 2 of this guy. This guy came out in Pote, you might remember this. It's a, I don't even remember what its name is. I just know that he's a rock level 2. You can pitch him from hand to get a double summon for Earths and Waters. And then if you control both an Earth and a Water, you can special summon him from the grave as an extender. Moving on, we got 2 copies of the Doki Doki in the main. People might say that's very incorrect of me to only be playing 2 Doki. And listen, okay, fair enough, I get you. But I think only 2 is necessary because it's very, very susceptible to the hand traps. You don't want to be starting with this as your normal summon. If you're doing that and then you get hand trapped on it, it's going to feel really sad. It's going to be a bad time. You'd rather summon it off of Excavating later, and then let's just say you searched a Guardian at some point during your turn, that you searched off a Supplier, pitch that, get Analyzer out of deck. That's usually the best use case for this Doki. I prefer to special summon him off the rock names rather than starting off with him. But a lot of people do think of him as a starter. I choose to see him more as a play extender. And then the last rock that we're playing in the main right now is our boy Tackle Crusader, okay? So if you don't know what this one is, and it's not as easy as in some of the other builds, like you're obviously going to get Y in a few, but to access him, because we normally send him off Miracle Rupture, it's an out to both monsters on field because you can Book of Moon them, or Spells and Traps because you can bounce them back to hand. So it's a little less reliable. If we really want to search him, we have to do it off of something like Gallant Granite, but hey, it's not impossible, and it's important to have an out to those sort of problematic cards. Now, the other engine that we're choosing to play, I'm sure I put it in the title, but look, triple copies of the Bike, triple copies of the Wakushibushi, and 1 copy of Big Butt Boy. You know, we don't like Benki, but we have to play him. Yeah, we're obviously playing the super heavy package. This is insane in this deck, and the cards that go with it, we've got the booster, the Soul Gaia booster. He makes you rank 4s or your mighty Baron. I've already talked about this at length in the past of how awesome these are for 1-card combos. If you just open up Bike, that's 1 card Baron. If you just open up Wakushi, it's 1 card Gallant Granite. That gets you into Researcher. But unlike the other people that are playing this deck, I decided to play 1 more Super Heavy brick in the form of the card that we learned about from playing Super Heavy Sprite, the Soul what is it? Soul Claw? Yeah, the Soul Claw. And there's a reason for this. It's because it turns Wakushi into a 1-card Raptite. So if you open something like a Seeker with your hand, like open Seeker Wakushi, you should go for Raptite instead of Gallant, if you want me to be honest. You can go to Gallant later in your combo. Stick the Raptite on field early and set yourself up for success. Then you can even go into an Ash Dragon after that, summon back the tuner that you used to make it, and then make your Barone that way. So I think it is worth playing the Soul Claw. I haven't seen many other super heavy Samurai ADAMANCIPATOR decks playing it, but I do think it is worth it. Now we got some hand traps here. Of course we're playing Nibiru because this deck can search it. I mentioned Gallant Granite earlier. That is one of the cards that you can search off of it, is Nibiru. And this is one of the few ways we can play around Dark Ruler No More. That's one thing I'm going to say about my build. I have taken very little precautions against the Dark Ruler No More. I'm putting him on Better Habit. Not the best strategy, let's just be honest. But one thing we can do is search Nibiru, so just keep that in mind. And then the other two hand traps we choose to play, triple copies of Ash is generic, is good, and then triple copies of Draw. Post-Duelist Nexus, this card's going to be insane. I was just talking to my boy CJ about this. Yeah, we should be playing Draw. I mean, obviously it makes me cringe as DRYTRON, but hey, we got to do what we got to do, right? So that's it for everything in the main deck except for one final card. One final card we decided to play is Sekka's Light, baby. I haven't touched this card in years. I have never played with this card in years, alright? It's been so long. And it's at 1, you know, it's at 1 for a reason because it's insane. And some would argue that it encourages degenerate deck building. But I wanted to play it, baby. I wanted to play it. Now, okay, listen, hear me. I hear you in the comments right now. But Logan, if you use this, then you can't use the Super Heavy Samurai Scales effects. Well, then use them first, dumbass. No, I'm sorry. Use them first, or don't use this card. You know what I mean? Like, you have to pick and choose your battles. Use them first. If you activate this and then draw the Super Heavy card, sucks. Just use them as either normal summons, extenders, whatever you can use them as. I get it, you can't use their spell and trap effects. I understand that. But since you're playing a Monster Mash deck anyway, you might as well throw in a free pot of greed that can shuffle stuff back, including bricks. So keep that in mind. I'm playing the 1 Sekka's Light. If you didn't want to play this, I'd play either a second Blue Rock, third copy of Doki, maybe. Things to keep in mind. That's it for the main deck. Let's do the extra deck, okay? We've got 1 copy of the Herald of the Arclight because it's a pretty easy Omni-Negate / Floodgate effect that we can put out onto the field. Use something like a Doki or that level 2 Water Rock guy whose name I can't remember, and any of your ADAMANCIPATOR level 2s, you're making this guy for pretty much free. This was an idea I saw in a different video of a guy who did a similar deck. Our profiles are pretty different, but this is one card that he had that I was like, oh, that's a pretty freaking good idea, is the Coral Dragon. So not only is this generic removal, it's a level 6 synchro, that's a tuna, that's pretty easy to make, another pathway into Barone or other level 8 synchros I'm going to show you, but you get that draw one too. And it being a water makes it really easy to bring back that level 2 guy that I was talking about earlier. So it's like, I always thought that, I was like, I'm not playing enough waters, I feel like, and this was a really good idea. I can't remember the guy's name right now. I'll throw it in the description, like I'll link to his video, because that was a flipping good idea. So I do like the Coral Dragon in this deck right now. Now we got the Raptite. Oh yeah, the best card in the extra deck for ADAMANCIPATORs. Shout out to my girl Brio for the awesome extended art. This is the first one I ever got from her, and I still like this one. This is probably one of her best works from back in that time, you know what I'm saying? So I love this card. It's so great. It's your mainstay extender, like your level 6 synchro that you're trying to go for. It can summon any excavated rock, tuner, non-tuner, whatever. Your mother, you're all set. Just summon it off Raptite, really, really good. Also has a quick effect DD Crow effect if you have a Wind Engrave, and it's pretty easy to stick those engraved, and I think you know why. We got the Dragite too, our big boy Dragite. This is a mainstay of going second. It's non-targeting removal by bouncing. It's also a spell and trap negate if you have a water engrave, which we've just established. A little easier to do now with our friend Coral Dragon. And then another level 8 synchro that I've decided to play is the Psy-Frame Lord Omega, just because I was thinking I want more means of interruption. Link climbing with this deck isn't as easy as it used to be, okay? I think that goes without saying. We don't have Hulk anymore. We don't have the Prank Kids package to play with anymore. We need, like, honestly, it's lowered the ceiling of this deck a lot. But instead now we're investing in the synchro side of things. So Omega is another card that you can do that I guess you could say kind of plays around Dark Ruler. Like if you eat a hand trap and they're taking another card out of your opponent's hand, that could bode well for you. And it also applies pressure by bringing itself back onto the field, which if your board gets cleared, you can be kind of screwed, right? So having a big 2800 beat stick that's just going to come on right back for you, it's a favor. It's a big favor. And also, if you do happen to use the effect of your little blue level 2 rock guy, and he gets banished by his own effect after you summon him back, you can stick him back in your graveyard and extend with him again later in the plays. Then we got the Ash Dragon, the Excel Synchro. That is pretty good. Of course, making the Barones or bringing back your tuners back from the graveyard, even as a turn 2 play, this card's pretty insane. Or as an extender to bring them back, because it doesn't negate them, which is insane to me. It blows my mind. And key point of note, it's a wind, so that turns on your Raptite's effect for the DD Crow. You're playing against something like Tyr, you're going to want to have that. Playing against something like DRYTRON, you're going to want to have that. Dragon Link, you might want to have that. Things to keep in mind. And then finally, the GOAT himself, Barone, probably the best synchro monster ever printed. I feel pretty safe in saying that, outside of ones that are banned, okay? But I feel pretty safe in saying this is easily one of the best synchro cards ever printed. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments down below. That's it for the synchros. Let's move on to the X-Seeds. This is pretty quick. We got our boy Gallant Granite, searches any rock, pretty strong. One copy of Baguska if we get interrupted too hard, or it's just extremely cracked in the matchup. We can just stick this guy on the field, call it a day. Feeling pretty good about that. And finally, one copy of Zeus to clear off those nasty, disgusting, ugly boards that the opponent might have. We say no to that. We can search off Gallant first and then do it, or we can use the Baguska that's relatively protected in attack mode to go for a Zeus play that way. Now we move on to the Link monsters again. Link climbing, not as easy nowadays in ADAMANCIPATOR, but still pretty legit. We gotta play IP. IP is a pretty standard end board piece. What are we tagging her into? We're usually tagging her into a unicorn to spin an opponent's card. Definitely something we like to keep in mind. Or we go in for the Appaloosa. Now, I'm gonna flag this right now. Back in the day, we were always summoning turn 0 Appaloosas. Not as often now, I gotta be honest. Like I said, it's harder to climb the Link ladder without so many free extenders like the Prank Kids or the Halki Fibrax. You can't do it as freely, but we do still, of course, play Appo. Access code for cleaning out those games. That's right, this is an access code deck, not a Boral Sword deck. Boral Sword's really only got his home in DRYTRON. And then finally, we need to play Underworld Goddess. We gotta do it. This is another thing we can tag into off IP. Also, it's something that outs the stupid, ugly, nasty, disgusting Pearly Noir, okay? We don't like that card, so we want to get that thing the heck out of here. Alright, that's everything in the extra deck, and let's move on to the side to round things out. We're doing a Bestial package. I've got 2 copies of Magnum Mutt and 1 Druis Worm. I wanted to play 3 Magnum Mutt, but unfortunately to make some room I had to make a cut, so we cut it down to 2. We're playing a 3-card Bestial package. Moving on from there, 2 copies of the Kurikara, another means of outing the Nor. Originally I was side decking triple copies of Gamma Seal. I've since then kind of pivoted to the Kurikaras. They apply a little bit more pressure and don't stick a monster on the opponent's field, so it's really just for dealing with Nor or other Towers monsters. And then 1 copy of Pankratops for going second. I love this card. I still love this card in any of the super heavy builds, or in general, this card's insane. As long as it doesn't conflict with your main strategy, I'm looking at you, DRYTRON. Triple copies of the Dark Ruler No More. That's right, just say no. Just say no. It's that simple. Okay, so wait, Logan, we're siding spells and traps in a super heavy deck that's playing Sekka's Light. What the heck are you doing? You side it out, Dingleberry. Alright, you take out the Sekka's Light and you put in the Dark Ruler No Mores. It's that simple, okay, guys? So that is what we're going to be doing with that. Moving on, we're playing 1 copy of the Heartbeast Feather Duster to blow out those back row decks, blow the backs out of Labyrinth. We don't like Labyrinth. We don't like trap players. We like to negate traps, like we're Jinzo, okay? But we're playing the Heartbeast, and then we're also playing triple copies of the Evenly Matched to deal with them. Now, I'm going to flag again. I'm clearly underprepared for Floodgates, okay? Tell me something I don't know, alright? I think we should be playing some Cosmics in here, so if you wanted to maybe make the Evenly's Cosmic, I was looking for some more generic coverage. We do have Pankratops as an out. Maybe if you want to cut the Bestials, you could do more spell and trap removal that way. I'm feeling a little underprepared for Floodgates and Runics, but hey, it's all good. If we go first, we should be winning anyway. We can put up some pretty crazy boards that they can't really deal with too easy, right? You're going to be relying on your Dragite in those situations. You're going to be relying on your Barone in those situations to pick them apart. And then the last card we side deck that's actually really important in my opinion is the Abyss Dweller. If it's a matchup where this card's an auto win, your deck can make it far easier than most. And you can even make it with a blue rock underneath it, make it boosted. It's 2200 instead of 17. So we side this guy in against Tyr, against DRYTRON, against anything that relies on the grave, we flip him the bird. It is that simple. So guys, that is it for the profile. I'm not going to leave you empty-handed though. We are going to do a test hand. It's been a while since I've done a test hand, so I'm actually really excited to do it on the channel for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, my friends, we have successfully pile shuffled the deck, and I'm going to give it some riffles now. Before we do our test hand, I am just going to get it nice and shuffled up, and we'll give it a final cut, good old classic style. Let's see how we open. Alright, starting things off, we got a Seeker, we got an Analyzer, we got a Sekka's Light, we got another Seeker, and we got an Ash Blossom. I think this hand is too good. I think let's try another one. That hand was definitely too good, guys. Let's shuffle it up, okay? I want it to be a little bit more challenging here. So let's shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Give it one more cut. Here we go, bing bing bong, here we go. Alright, we got the Analyzer, we got an Ash, we got a Guardian, we got a Wakushi, and we got another Guardian. Okay, not bad, not bad. See, this is a little bit trickier, I like it. So we're actually going to play this one out. I'm going to normal summon that Guardian, first thing, okay? You're like, Logan, why the heck are we spending the normal summon so early? You're gonna see why. We wanna have a safety net, because we're gonna go Wakushi next, we're gonna use its effect and scale, stick it on out there, and then we're gonna get the big butt boy out of deck. Oh, we don't like this guy. We definitely don't like Big Benki, but we got to play him. So we're going to stick him in the Spell and Trap zone. We're going to use his effect here. And what are we going to search? There it is. So we're going to grab the Soul Claw out of deck. For those of you who don't know what this does, it's a free extender. Same thing as the Soul Gaia, only it's a level 2 instead of a 4. So we attach it to Wakushi, special summon it out, and this is where it gets even cooler, right? Because we're going to Synchro Summon. We're going to use those two. That's going to go into the Scales, which is, hey, that's pretty good. We're going to stick that in the Scales. We're going to summon out our Raptite like so. That's right. That's a level 6 Synchro. And Wakushi gives us live Scales now, which means that Analyzer in hand, oh yeah, we're summoning that boy later. But we'll use Raptite first here, and let's excavate 5 beautiful cards. We got a Researcher, we got a Blue Rock, we got a Seeker. Oh my gosh, look at this. You couldn't make this stuff up. It doesn't get much better than that. So I think we'll grab our Seeker for free here, stick them onto the field like so, and stick those other cards on the bottom. Let's do another 5 for Seeker. We got Tackle Boy, Ash, Blue Guy, and then a Bike. So yeah, we're going to summon Blue Guy here, that's for sure. It's pretty free. No reason not to. We'll stick him out onto the field as well. So now we're getting to the point where we're probably going to want to make some room, right? So let's do a quick little sync for 2, and we'll turn these guys off into the Herald of the Arclight on the side. That's right, we got some live negates going up in here. And then now, the board's getting a little cluttered, a little bit full. So what I'm going to do for a Pendulum Summon is I'm just going to bring out the Analyzer. You can bring out the second copy of Guardian too, but I want to resolve Analyzer's effect, and I feel like we're going to hit. I don't know why, I've got a good feeling about this one. So we're going to swing away, we're going to hit the Nibiru, the Supplier, the Droll, another Blue Rock guy, and another Supplier. So, okay, hey, we got options here, alright? I got options. We could go for the Blue Rock guy, and that's another one that we could bring back. We got a 6, which gives us a free Coral Dragon, and then we bring it back. Frankly, that's kind of what I'm feeling like I want to do. I'd like to go for Supplier and get another free search for another Guardian, just jack up that hand advantage. But in this situation, I think you'll see why in a sec. I'm going to go for the Blue Rock, alright? So I'm going to go for Blue Rock, and then I'm going to take these 2 and turn them into Coral Dragon, alright? Because we are actually going to generate some hand advantage off of the play that we're choosing to do here. So I'll go for the Coral Dragon. Now we control both a Water and an Earth, which means we can use the effect of Little Blue Boy in the grave, special summon him back to the field. He's going to be banished when he leaves. That's okay. We're going to banish him and use our Coral Dragon to sync up and go for the mighty Axel Synchro Dragon, alright? And we'll use Axel's effect on the Seeker and Grave, bring that joint back, but not not before we get our free draw off of that Coral Dragon, which, okay, that's just too cracked. You can't make that up, okay? So we did rip a Researcher. I might act as though we ripped a dead card just because I think that's a little too insane. But we'll turn those 2 off into a Barone, because why not? And if you wanted to, you could easily call it a day here. We got the DD Crow effect of this, we've got the Barone for an Omni Negate, we got the Guardian for a Monster Effect Negate, and we got the Herald for another Omni Negate, as well as its Floodgate effect. And I honestly would feel very good about calling it here, because if I were to special summon the Researcher, we immediately run out of room, so there's not too much advantage to doing so. We got complete pen scales too, which is pretty nice. We got the Guardian to reveal for Guardian in the end phase, and this right here is one of the best 2-card combos you can have in the deck for guaranteed follow-up. So obviously that was an insane draw at the end there, and we have an Ash too. Honestly, I feel pretty safe about calling it here, but let me round this out by saying the possibilities with this deck are truly endless. Just like when I did the tier profile, it's an RNG deck. It's an RNG deck because you're relying on those excavates to get you into what you're going to get into. And this is a very pretty end board. I'd be pretty confident passing turn on this, right up until the point where the opponent drops the Dark Ruler. With all that being said, Logan JYA calling it here. Have a great day, and I'll see all you beautiful people later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the link in the description down below to get yourself a Dry Kage Field Center. And I'm signing off. Peace.